Good morning, students. Today, under salesmanship chapter, we are going to discuss the new aspects, that is, qualities of a good and successful salesman. As we all know, salesmanship is not a child's play, it is a competitive game. To play this competitive game successfully, a salesman should have a good sales personality, because always personality is important aspects to any salesman. Let us try to understand what are these factors basically required to become an effective salesperson. There are basically five types of qualities. They are broadly categorized into physical qualities, psychological or mental qualities, social qualities, moral or character qualities, and other qualities. These five categories we are going to discuss one by one. First, we are going to see what are the physical qualities. Under physical qualities, a salesman should have a good health, because always we say health is wealth. A good health is a wealth for a successful salesman. Therefore, a salesman must have good health. And second one under physical qualities, good appearance. A salesman must present good appearance. Good appearance is an asset for a salesman. A good appearance of the salesman attracts the customer towards him and helps him to do his job successfully. Next one is a good dress. A salesman should wear good dress, because the next point is going to see, we are going to say good posture. Good posture means an upright bearing and carriage, that is standing erect with the body well balanced on the feet. Pleasant voice. Good voice is quite essential for a salesman. And forceful or powerful speech, because a salesman should have a fluent speech, because you need to be a fluent speaker. Under psychological or mental qualities, we are having the intelligence. Intelligence is the mental capacity to understand quickly. Resourcefulness. A salesman should be and must be resourceful, means you need to have all the information regarding the products. Imagination. Imagination is the power of visualizing things. A salesman should have a rich imagination of the product what he is selling. Cool temper. The fourth point, cool temper. A salesman should have a cool temper, because he should not lose his temper under any circumstances. Initiative means the ability to think and decide for oneself without any guidance from anybody. Alertness. A salesman must be alert. Alertness makes the salesman very keen, and salesman should have keen observation of the behavior. All this depends upon a sharp memory with the salesperson. So these are the physical qualities. Next, we are going to see the next one as after discussing the psychological and mental qualities, we are going to discuss third one, social qualities. What are these? The first one is a courtesy. A salesman must be courteous in his behavior, good manner. That's the basics to any leader. A salesman is a leader. So a salesman must have a good manners, and you need to be a You should have a sociability, means the capacity of a person to meet people and mix with them freely and easily. Enthusiasm. A salesman should have enthusiasm in his work. Enthusiasm is to a salesman what patronize is to an army. This quality gives the salesman inspiration. Next, we are going to discuss the cheerfulness. A salesman should have a smiling face and cheerfulness. Tact or diplomacy, that is the ability of a person to dominate others without their knowing it and leading them to action without forcing them. Patience and tolerance. A salesman must have a patience and tolerance because that is the basic qualities of a salesman. Because in the process of selling, a salesman is going to meet different types of customer. So for that reason, he should have self-confidence. A salesman must have self-confidence in himself as well as in the product what he is selling, because he need to convince and win over the customer. Humor, sympathy. What is that humor, sympathy? So humor, sympathy are essential qualities in a salesman. They enable him to face the difficult and decide a situation easily. Poise. Poise is the power of an individual that keeps him in effective command himself. Team spirit and competitiveness. A salesman should work in a team, so you need to have a team spirit. And fourth category of a good characteristics or a good quality is moral or character qualities. A salesman must be honest. A salesman must be honest to the customer. A salesman must be loyal to his employer. He must work sincerely for his employer. Integrity means uprightness of character. A salesman must have integrity. This is a necessary moral courage and help him to succeed in his task. Determination. It is the will to go on and on, try again and again in the face of disappointment until the success is achieved. Courage. A salesman must have a courage. Maturity. Salesman must have maturity in his thinking as well as in behavior. Reliability. A salesman should have reliability. He must do his work seriously and with responsibility. Aspiration of ambition, that is the desire to do well and achieve something in life. Industry and industriousness, that means persistence and hard work to achieve the goal. A salesman should have industrious. He should take a time to study, understand and solve the problems. Self-confidence or control, self-discipline and control. A salesman should be self-disciplined. This quality helps him to win over other and do the task efficiently. So, these are the various important moral or character qualities. And fifth, we are going to discuss other qualities what the salesman should possess. This is actually very important qualities. There is knowledge of self. Each and every individual in their life, they need to know what they are. So that is what we call it as a knowledge of self. A salesman should have an assessment of knowledge of his own personality, what he is, what he knows about the company, how much he knows about his company, product, customer, employer, everything. Knowledge of the product. A salesman should have a thorough knowledge of the product he sells, because when we drive, we need to know a minimum mechanical work, otherwise we will be stuck in between. Therefore, a salesman should know minimum and maximum skill of and knowledge of the product what he is selling. Knowledge of the firm. A salesman is not just selling a product, he is also selling his firm. As such, a salesman must have a thorough knowledge of the firm which he represents. That is very important. You should know what his company is. Next is a knowledge of the customer. That's very important because customer is a king in the market. That's why a salesman must have a thorough knowledge of the customer, because customer wants are unlimited, and he must know the buying motives of the customers. And the last one is knowledge of a technique of selling. A salesman should have a thorough knowledge of the technique of selling. He should have a good knowledge of a certain basic principles of selling. So, at the same time, the basic principles of selling is such as attending to the customers quickly, understanding the requirements of the customer, and ensuring that the needs of the customers are met suitably. So these are the 5 broad categories what we discussed in brief: physical qualities, psychological or mental qualities, social qualities, other qualities, moral or character qualities are the various qualities of a good or successful salesman. Thank you.